I'm Maurice McNaughton. I am the Director of the Center for Innovation at the Mono School of Business and Management, and I'm the Director of the Caribbean School of Data. So the CSOD really is a project that involves the building of digital capacity. Quite interestingly, we started a partnership with a humanitarian OpenStreetMap team, which actually is a quite natural progression of the CSOD program. It involves building skills around mapping, building data skills around the collection, analysis, and use of geospatial data for a range of applications. So that partnership with HOT started earlier this year and has really expanded the possibilities and the opportunities for the Caribbean School of Data. A component of it, and that's where the current hackathon that's taking place is part of that. A component of the partnership with HOT is the Open Cities Jamaica project. Now that's looking sort of broadly at building mapping skills and a mapping culture, but specifically looking at its application in the area of disaster resilience, with a particular focus on solid waste management and sort of issues, social conditions, physical conditions that contribute to things like flooding. So it's a specific application of mapping, but one that is quite important, especially since we're heading into another hurricane season. Again, a big part of the focus is on the Barnes Gully that runs from somewhere around Crossroads all the way down to the harbour.
Hi everyone, I'm Sharika Wilson. I'm the Products Manager at the Caribbean School of Data, and today I'm here with
Carrie-Ann Harriott, GIS expert.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the Open Cities Jamaica project and learn more about what a GIS expert is and the role of that in such a project. So Carrie-Ann, talk to me a little bit about Open Cities Jamaica and what you are doing as a part of this project.
Well, the project is really surrounding data collection in terms of solid waste management and accumulation, more so specifically geared towards our drains, in terms of solid waste buildups around certain communities. Where my expertise lies is really where I'm helping to build the capacity of the community in terms of how they would go about actually collecting this information on ground, because they want to be able to collect information, the real world information, and be able to represent that on the map. So that's really where my expertise lies in terms of facilitating that capacity building in terms of how they're able to collect this data and represent it in a 2D world or 3D world.
So that's the Open Cities Jamaica project. As part of the project, we've had a focus on a specific geography, the Allman Town area, and we've had teams of mappers from communities within Allman Town being involved in learning how to do mapping, learning how to collect geospatial data, and again with a focus on solid waste spaces, drains, buildings, and so forth.
Can you tell me a little bit about your role both in the CDC and in this project?
My role as the CDC president for Allman Town is to facilitate a process of community development and the exchange of information as it relates to the community.
What was this project about, and what have you learned or experienced as you went through the project?
Okay, on this project I worked as a facilitator, community facilitator. So it was just basically identifying students to take part in the mapping exercise, to also walk the students and the team throughout the community to collect such data. And a lot of us, like myself, didn't know much about this whole mapping thing. So it's a learning experience for me as well as we go along.
Okay. And do you think this learning experience is going to be beneficial for your community?
Definitely. I've learned a lot about mapping, what data is. There are different types of data, and the information collected, how the community can use it as a tool going further in its development.
Do you think, if given a chance, we should do this with other communities across Jamaica?
Definitely. You have some people living in the community and they don't even know the history of their community. They are not used to the different locations of buildings or name of buildings, even street. A lot of streets don't have street signs. So I think it is important to share this with other communities.
I think empowering communities, and especially young people in communities, with the ability to do mapping, with the ability to apply that mapping data to a whole range of problems. In this particular case, disaster resilience, where we could be looking at climate change mitigation, we could be looking at a whole range of other kinds of applications. I think building that kind of capacity and engaging young people in the use of technology, particularly low-cost technology, right? Because all you need is a smartphone and the skills that they've developed, and you can do really incredible things with that.
So one of the things about Humanitarian OpenStreetMap team is that they want to make sure that geospatial data, so the mapping data you collected, is open and accessible and can be used for some of the purposes that you looked at. So thinking about the drains and flooding, what sort of impact do you think a project like this will have on your community?
We're in hurricane season, so we know that we definitely need clean drains, and this is a very good project, finding out what we have in our communities. I really enjoyed the whole
My experience so far, it's allowed me to implement and utilize a lot of the knowledge from level 2 that looked at geospatial data analysis. So I was able to implement a lot of what I learned into this program. So it was more hands-on and applicable.
It was okay for me. It was better than expected because I learned something new that I've never done before. So far, mapping my own community, knowing different drainings and floods and stuff that happens, and getting a more educational feature on my community and what happens there. So basically, it was okay.
So doing this program allowed you to, through geospatial data and learning how to collect it, always get a better feel for your community.
My hope is that we'll see them applying this to create a much stronger voice in their own communities and create much more compelling kinds of artifacts, whether those are maps, whether those are mobile apps and other things that can really help them confront the kind of challenges that they have on the ground.